interesting. I really like Thielen, though. I think you definitely start him in your lineup week 1 and probably every week, honestly.
My next wide receiver is Mr. Juju SmithSchuster.
When I was ranking players, I almost put him on my no draft list. And then, because last year, I do know the reason. It's because Duck Hodges was QB for half the year, and when he wasn't, Mason Rudolph was quarterback. And so Juju will have a bounce back year. How much he'll bounce back, though, is the question. I don't really know what shape Big Ben is in. I mean, people, in the entire offseason has been, making fun of Big Ben, whether it's, like him standing on the sidelines at a practice or whatever. I mean, we don't know what we're going to get from Big Ben in terms of his health. And if he goes down again, Juju's stats are going to go down just naturally. So that's something I keep an eye out on. He's still a fantastic receiver, but I'd keep an eye out less on his performance and more on how Big Ben is doing here in these first couple of weeks.
Yeah. My tight end is Evan Engram out of New York.
I really, really like Evan Engram. He's definitely. I mean, I can't think of a guy who would be a better target on this Giants team than Evan Engram. I mean, he's a tight end, but he's their number one receiver, and he's got some speed on him too. I really, really like Evan Engram. Definitely, I'm starting him in fantasy this year.
I mean, outside of the Giants' top 2 wide receivers, Evan Engram and Saquon Barkley.
Honestly, that's kind of how it is. And I'm surprised they didn't. I don't remember. Did they draft the wide receiver? I don't remember if they did. It wasn't some big name guy.
They drafted Andrew Thomas in the first round, who was the left tackle out of Georgia.
Right. So that will help, and I think that'll in turn help Engram. So I really like Evan Engram. You should be starting him every week.
And at my flex position, Mr. Holdout himself, LeVeon Bell.
I saw a thing earlier today. LeVeon Bell said he's in the best shape of his life. Now, I don't know how much merit there is to that. Guys say that every year. Cam Newton's saying the same thing. So, we'll see. We'll see with LeVeon. He definitely has the talent to be. I mean, just look. Last year, he was rated as the number 1 running back heading into the year, until he just held out and then went to the Jets and everything just wasn't the same. Or excuse me, sorry, that was 2 years ago. Sorry. And then he held out. He held out that entire season. Came back the year after. And, he wasn't the same last year. Obviously, the Jets' offensive line was garbage. We all know that. It was horrible. So their offensive line is going to be better this year. Sam Darnold's going to be a little bit better this year. I expect him to have a solid year as a running back. I don't know if he'll be a top 20 running back, probably top 15. I don't know about top 10, though. I wouldn't say top 10. Let me just say, are there any, what are the players on your bench that you were most, on the fence about, I guess? We'll kind of start from there.
Well, I have a couple that I'm actually really excited about.
Okay, I won't give a whole take on those, but you can just tell me about them yourself.
Yeah. The first one is Marquise Brown, the wide receiver for Baltimore. I saw a statistic today that he has added 23 pounds in pure muscle over this over the whole COVID situation, and he is bigger and stronger now. And with that, he has 4.29 speed. It's just going to make him even more dangerous.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And talking about speed, another one that I caught my mind when I was drafting today was Jalen Reagor out of Philadelphia.
He's going to be interesting.
I've seen some good stuff about him. That they're buzzing about how fast he is and he can catch.
Yeah. I mean, the Philadelphia really needed him.
Yeah.
They really freaking needed a guy like Jalen Reagor. He wasn't the receiver that Philly wanted him to take, or the Philly fans wanted them to take. Excuse me, I can't use my pronouns correctly, but he might just be what they need. They don't need a guy who's big and flashy. They just need a guy who can catch the ball and get open for Carson Wentz, because they haven't had that, and their receivers again are just fragile too at the rate they were getting injured last year. Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous, honestly. I mean, if you guys didn't see, I was out there in week 16 for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how desperate they were. So,
and my last player is someone who we both have actually on both our teams, and that's Hayden Hurst out of.
I think he's going to have a fantastic year in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Much like Austin Hooper did last year, I think he'll see very, very similar production out of Hayden Hurst this year.
And I was able to get him in the 16th round.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy how far he's falling. People are picking Austin Hooper over him in most drafts, and to that I just say you got to understand Hooper's in a different system now in Cleveland. You can't really we saw it with Odell last year, and we might see it with DeAndre Hopkins this year. When you go to a different team, you may not be as good for that first year or two. And so that's all I would say with Austin Hooper. Again, he could be really relied upon to in Cleveland. It's all dependent on the system.
Building on that.
Right.
Building on that.